The Nintendo 64 truly is one of the great game consoles of all time. Its legacy everlasting, most notably due to the mindset of its developers. Quality and experience over quantity and amusement. The system wasn't designed to be something to fill your time with at your leisure, but forced the idea that gaming was what you wanted to focus your time on. No longer were games simply an enjoyable diversion. They piqued your interest intensely. The controller, however, was something of an acquired taste. Unless you're an evolutionarily advanced human, you've got 2 arms and 2 hands. Yet the N64 controller has 3 handles. Upon first glance, it does not appear welcoming. You can mess around with it, sure. We'd go so far as to say it invites experimentation, but your hands do not seem to fall into any particular set configuration naturally. You've got a D-pad, an analog stick, and directional C buttons. L and R bumpers overlap the device's shoulders, a Z trigger underneath, and, of course, your basic start, A and B buttons. It's not pretty, but it is undeniably versatile. Games made clever use of the components such that players could adapt to a wide range of playstyles. The analog stick was, at the time, quite revolutionary, as this was one of the first controllers to use analog stick technology with a home console, and even more impressive by placing the stick in the center to be used with the thumb. This technology would, of course, become standard and improved upon in future home consoles, as, in the case of the N64 controller, however, the plastic stick was prone to wear and tear. Perhaps one of the controller's most interesting features, however, couldn't be seen from the front. The expansion port in the Nintendo 64 controller is truly what sets the device in peculiarity. Given its already futuristically strange design, the expansion port takes things to another level. Once again, however, this feature did not detract from the functionality of the controller, but rather again contributed to its adaptability and versatility. The port made use of 3 peripherals, including the controller pack, rumble pack, and transfer pack. The idea was that these gadgets could be swapped in and out of the controller, allowing for things like data utility, depth of gameplay, and a greater extension of functionality. The controller pack serves as the console's memory card and was intended to be a method of exchanging data with other players. This idea of interchangeable save data was still primitive. In some cases, save data may occupy the entire storage bank. In Mario Kart 64, for example, optional data that is too large for the cartridge may be saved on the controller pack in the form of ghost data, although this uses 121 of the 123 pages of storage. The rumble pack was more straightforward in its complexity. It uses 2 AAA batteries, and when playing with supporting games, causes the controller to exhibit vibrational feedback as a further element of immersion. This technology would go on to become a built-in standard feature in almost every home video game console controller. Lastly, the transfer pack allows the player to transfer data between Nintendo 64 games and Nintendo's Game Boy games. Some titles, like Pokemon Stadium,
made frequent use of this feature, allowing for tandem gameplay options within Game Boy games like the early Pokemon series. No matter your preferred game genre, no matter your desired gameplay style, the Nintendo 64 controller will put you in that world.
And this is where we've arrived. No conclusion can be drawn on the N64 controller until we've discussed how it feels. And to clarify, once you go beyond the confusing appearance and come to rest in varying hand positions, the device does offer comfortable ergonomic features, but that's not the type of feel we're discussing. You see, a controller's feel is not necessarily measurable by any physical or scientific trait, but by human intuition. The best controllers are designed for their games, not by their games, and capture the essence of human-machine interaction. The N64 controller is perhaps one of, if not the best, at acting like an extension of the player's hands. It forged the idea that games should be catered to the player's imagination, not their dexterity. This is what gaming is about. It is a medium unlike any other, where both player and developer have freedom and versatility to express themselves in whatever fashion they please. And while it doesn't always come in the most attractive form factor, it certainly doesn't need to. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to check out my other videos and consider subscribing. If you have any thoughts or questions, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching.